Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Please let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you. I didn't hear any complaints the other day when the 3D printer was running. It does leave a little bit of background noise, but I didn't think it was severe. So I'm going to let it run right now just because I was hoping to print this out and share it, but it's just not going to work out that way. Check this out though. I did the nerdiest thing ever last night. So the printer sits on this bench, which is in the shed, obviously, and I do all of my editing and video work in my bedroom, which is where my office essentially is. And so I was constantly coming back and forth while I was running a print last night, making sure that everything was working, and I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And then I thought, well, there's got to be an app for that. Of course there is. So I got this old broken tablet out, a 7-inch LG tablet, and installed a IP camera app on it and built this little wooden stand to set it on, and now I have it watching the printer, and I can log into the webcam from my desktop and watch the printer while I'm working. That's nerdy. I've never felt that nerdy. So I'm going to do a video about this project hopefully this weekend. We'll see. It depends on how this process goes. But what I really want to talk about is I didn't really consider the full breadth of what 3D printing can bring to me as a maker, as somebody who likes to build stuff here, how 3D printing is going to come into that picture until today. And I was kind of shocked. So if I make something, you know, I made this box and there's a video of it and you guys have watched it and you've heard me push buttons on here, and thank you. You know, it's a cool box and it plays sounds and it's neat. And this is the first and only version of this box, and I just kind of went with it. That's basically the way I do things. I'll just start and I'll go. And so there'll never be another version of this box because there's no reason for me to tear it apart and rebuild it. There's lots of things wrong with it. There's lots of things if I were to build it again, I would do, but why, right? So this project that's printing right now, I printed the base for it last night. This is what it essentially, probably on camera, it looks like a soap dish, is a project enclosure for an LED panel light that I'm making. Now, the concept is, this is my setup for my camera. When I'm not on the tripod here, I have this little bendy tripod. This is what I was using in yesterday's video to shoot from the hood of the trunk, or the hood of the truck. And I got this little bendy tripod I can hold on to, or I can set it down. And because my camera's forward-facing screen flips up instead of out, I can't attach a microphone to the top of the camera, or I can't see the screen. And when you're trying to frame a shot, especially in handheld mode, I'm trying to frame a shot while I talk to somebody or whatever, or frame the shot yesterday while I was inside the truck, it just wouldn't have been possible. So I need to be able to see the screen. So what I did was I got this little bracket here, which has a shoe mount, the same as it's on the camera, on the top and the side here, and so I'm going to mount the camera off to the side. So the camera will normally sit here on this thing, and this is a nice little handle. Well, I have this extra mount here, and I want to attach a light, okay? And, wow, well, the thing I'm printing is not going to work. See, this is the whole process, right? So I want to attach a light, and in order to do that, it needs to be lightweight, it needs to be battery powered, so I'm not draining juice off of the camera battery, and I'd like for it to be removable and usable in other functions. So I need it to have some sort of mounting system that works with this that I can also remove and just have a light. That's where this project began. And this is one of the main reasons why I bought the printer, because I finally had a prototypable project that I wanted to start on. So I printed this last night. Well, the cool thing is when I make something, I usually just make it. Well, this gives me an iterative process. And I've talked about that in game design hundreds of times. That's one of the things that I tell people constantly. You have to iterate. You have to try. You won't know until you try. So the cool thing is when you're doing a thing like this, the first thing I did was model this in 3D. I have the whole thing. It's a 3-piece model. This is the base. What I'm printing right now is just a plate that goes on top here that holds the lights. And then there's a trim ring on top that will hold a clear screen to protect the lights, and it all screws together with mounting holes in the bottom. Screws go up through. Well, so I modeled this in 3D, and I added radiuses to make it, you know, nicer in the hand. I added, you know, recessed screw holes so I can use a certain type of screw to go through. I changed, you know, some of the profile design of the top, which was just going to be a flat thing that I was going to cut out. And so that gave me one time to really make the thing, flip it, look at it, and say, okay, I kind of like the way that looks, kind of don't like the way that looks. And then I say, okay, I'm ready to print, and I print. So this particular little piece took 5 hours. I let it run overnight. I watched until I went to sleep, and then it finished, and it turned out pretty awesome. But there was a few problems with it. The main problem is that the software that cuts this thing up and so that the printer could print it layer by layer decided that it's going to have a little bit of hollowness. And originally I had designed it with these 4 little pegs in these corners that stood up, and then this mid plate that holds the lights would fit on those pegs, and then the top piece would sandwich on top, which works, kinda. And so when I came down to get it, one of these pegs was so thin it just broke off, like it was loose. And I thought, well, that's kind of sucks, because this was a 5-hour print, right? It's not the highest quality print. I set it up to just quickly print so that I could work on the form of this thing. So I broke the rest of the tabs off and thought, you know what, I could design this better. So I designed the center plate to come clear out to the edge. It will also have the mounting tab on it for hanging this thing on my tripod, which I just learned won't work. I'll have to reprint it, no big deal. And that's the cool thing. That's exactly what I'm getting at. It's no big deal, right? I've changed the design on the fly, and now I can go change the models. And when I print the final version of this with the final, you know, form, I haven't really lost much of my time. The modeling is quick. The printing, it's not like I'm sitting here doing the work. If I were to make this out of wood, if I were to take a chunk of wood and hollow it out, or if I were to make a border and trim and put this all together, and it didn't work, there's pretty much no chance that I would go remake it just because, right? Just like this thing. I'm not going to go remake this thing to make it, I'm just going to live with it, because it's too many of my personal hours invested in making this, too many other projects on the list. But this little thing, and that little guy right there, that little $200 toy, essentially, means that I can iterate on a project like this. I can build a quick and dirty, usable prototype and say, all right, I don't like this feature, I don't like that feature, reprint those parts, put it back together, and go again until I get it perfect. And that is freaking amazing. And I really honestly hadn't even considered it. Like, it just, I don't know why. I don't know why that wasn't a selling point for me on buying 3D printing, of the ability to go through this. So it's pretty cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I am assuming I can get the light actually working. I will I'll work on recording a video this weekend on it, and hopefully get it up this week. But we'll see. I have some other videos I want to release about 3D printing. So if you're interested in this particular project, or if you're interested in just seeing the design process, you know, stay tuned. There'll be a video. There'll be something coming. So very cool. I'm very excited. I just, you know, I want to play. I got things to make. Also related to yesterday, the truck is broke still. The power steering pump was actually, it blew. And that's what caused the belts to jump and destroyed the one belt. So it has no power steering currently, which I could technically drive it that way, but it's a very small steering wheel, and I'm not a strong man. I have very small arms. Very difficult to drive that way. So I've been riding the bike. So I'll get the parts to fix it tomorrow and put it back together and get it on the road again. So, you know, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you ever have anything that you want me to talk about, please do not hesitate to leave it in the comments or to email it to me, cheveedailyshed.com. I love your ideas. I love hearing from you. So keep up being awesome, because you guys are great. You guys are the best part of my day, and I truly, sincerely mean that. So thank you for everything you do for me, and hopefully I'm doing something for you. Obviously I am, or you wouldn't keep coming back. Thank you as always. I will see you tomorrow.
Hey Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from YouTube. That's weird. Never had that before. Do panda bears eat eucalyptus? Pandas do not have access to eucalyptus because it's not native to China. A panda eats bamboo. I don't know if people got the idea they eat eucalyptus because that's a plant native to Australia. Koala bears eat eucalyptus and pandas eat bamboo.